Well, the weekend is here, free agency has begun, and Max Muncy is back in LA. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the Friday here on Dodgers Latest. So happy you could be with us. Remember, hit me up right there on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. Love all the comments, all the friend requests, and of course, right here on the YouTube channel of Dodgers Latest. Man, the community continues to grow, and that's thanks to you. Love the comments. We respond, we like, we read every one of your comments, and of course, we're going to be reading more comments in today's episode, as you had something to say about the possibility of Max Muncy returning, which now is going to happen as the Dodgers exercised his $10 million option. And what, if anything, will the Dodgers do with the prize free agent of Japan, the 25-year-old big lefty Munetaka Murakami? But first, let's get into some more hot stove talk. We've been talking about it all week. And yeah, listen, we know Kyle Tucker is the big fish of free agents, right? And it looks like the Dodgers may be one of the leading candidates to get him. But what about a plan B? And what about a guy who's been here before, right? What about Cody Bellinger? Remember him, right? 2019 National League Most Valuable Player, was the 2018 National League Championship Series MVP for the Dodgers, was the Rookie of the Year for the Dodgers in 2017. In fact, Cody Bellinger had a 4-year run. 17, he was Rookie of the Year. 18, he was the NLCS MVP against the Brewers. 19, he was the overall National League MVP. In 2020, he wins the World Series with the Dodgers, right? Hit 305, 47 homers, 115 RBIs in that MVP season in 19. But ever since that MVP season, 2020 was hard because obviously that was the COVID year and it was 60 games, truncated season. Cody Bellinger hasn't come anywhere close to those kind of gaudy numbers in 2019, and the Dodgers ended up parting ways with him. He ended up signing a free agent deal with the Cubs. So Cody was with the Dodgers from 17 to 22, and then spent 23 and 24 with the Cubs, and had rather, let's say it, disappointing years with the Cubs, and the Cubs ended up trading him to the New York Yankees, where obviously the Dodgers played. He played with the Yankees this past season, and we saw a little bit of the Cody Bellinger from that MVP year, right? Last year, this past season in 25, hit 272, 29 homers, 88 RBI. So from that MVP season in 19, where he hit 305, 47, and 115. This was kind of the Cody Bellinger we remember, right? 272, 29 homers, just a tick from 30, 88 runs batted in, and an OPS with the Yankees this past season of 814. So he has elected to become, or he has become a free agent. Now, do the Dodgers sign him? Would you want to see Cody Bellinger back in LA? Listen, he put up some gaudy numbers with the Dodgers, and not to mention what he did in the postseason, right? Obviously, the MVP of the NLCS in 2018. House also had a walk-off single in Game 4 of that 2018 NLCS, hit a big homer in Game 7, made that unbelievable catch in center field in the division series against the Padres. Had a couple of big home runs in that series. Hit a big home run in the 21 NLCS. So he has been a performer with the Dodgers, and he's been a performer in the postseason, which is truly, really what you want. Look at Miguel Rojas. Look at Max Muncy. Look at Kike Hernandez. Now, I don't know if Cody Bellinger is the main target. I still think Kyle Tucker is the main target, and we'll get into him next week. But I think Cody Bellinger could be a great plan B. Now, is he going to wait for the Dodgers? Maybe Cody Bellinger will come back with the Yankees. Who knows? But I think at 31, he's going to be 31 in July. Kind of resurrected his career this year with the Yankees. So I don't know if he's going to come that expensive, especially if Tucker falls out. Now that they've given Max Muncy his extension, and obviously Murakami is someone who's on the Dodger radar, but Cody Bellinger could be a great plan B, and I'd love to hear what you guys got to say. Would you want Bellinger? Would you want him over Tucker? Would you want, there's no way you'd want Cody Bellinger. We've got some great memories with those sleepy eyes wearing Dodger blue. I think it'd be a very interesting scenario if Cody Bellinger would come back to the Dodgers. I think, I think the Dodgers are so great with reclamation projects. Justin Turner, Max Muncy, and Bellinger's not at that level. I mean, the guy was elite, had a 4-year run where he was elite. He's lost his way. He's always had that kind of long, loopy swing. Maybe we get him back with this organization now, maybe with this group of hitting coaches. Maybe he can find a way again, and maybe he can return to Dodger Blue. It'd be an interesting pickup, especially if Kyle Tucker doesn't end up signing with the Dodgers. Well, spring training is literally around the corner. February 21, the Dodgers released their spring training schedule, and they will play the Angels in Tempe. That'll be the first opener. But the one that jumps out at me is this one. February 4th, the Dodgers will play Team Mexico. March 4th. March 4th, the Dodgers will play Team Mexico at Camelback Ranch in Glendale. Remember, we are in a WBC window this year. The World Baseball Classic returns, so it's going to be, some players will leave their teams, join their, it's country and club, and there will be a lot of country and club spring training matchups, and this is intriguing. Mexico will also play Arizona. The Diamondbacks will play them the day before, and they'll play the Dodgers March 4th. Freddie Freeman's part of Team Canada. And it'll be interesting to see, Mookie Betts, Team USA. It'll be interesting to see who plays for Team Mexico. And there's two people that jump out at me with Dodger connections. The first one is Austin Barnes. You remember the old backup catcher for the Dodgers who they ended up releasing? He's going to get a ring this year, though. Austin Barnes ended up signing a minor league deal with the Giants, still trying to find and latch on to somebody. But Austin Barnes, his mom is Mexican-American. So he has played for Team Mexico, and he has said that he wants to return and play for Team Mexico. So there's an interesting Dodger connection to Team Mexico. And the one that really jumps out, and this could be curious, is Julio Urias. Remember Julio Urias? Right? He was on the mound as a reliever, got the last out when the Dodgers beat the Rays in the 2020 World Series, and he looked like he was going to be poised for a mega contract. He was about to be a free agent in 21. Dodgers probably weren't going to sign him. Left-hander, hard thrower, young, was going to make a truckload of money, and then he got into a domestic issue with his partner, put hands on her in a public setting. The police saw it. He's been arrested. Court, the Major League Baseball suspended him. Dodgers quickly released him. Now, he has been reinstated. This has been almost 2 years since the Julio Urias situation. He's been reinstated in Major League, and he could sign with anybody. He spent last year in the Mexican League. He's from Culiacan, and he played for them in the Mexican Baseball League. And more than likely, he'll be on Team Mexico. So it'll be interesting to see as he returns to the Dodger facility how he's greeted. B, if there's any scouting interest. I don't think the Dodgers would be interested. I think he's part of that Trevor Bauer sort of block where, whatever side you're on, the Trevor Bauer side, the Dodgers aren't in the Trevor Bauer business anymore. That is something that is going to be irrefutable. And Julio Urias, whether you believe people deserve second chances, they change, whatever, it doesn't seem like the Dodgers are in the Julio Urias business. It'll be interesting to see if he does pitch for Team Mexico and he does pitch against the Dodgers and where Julio Urias lands in his future in the major leagues. All right, we always ask you to be part of the show. Yesterday we talked about Munetaka Murakami, and you guys came out. The Dodgers, by the way, yes, they picked up the option for Max Muncy. It's a $10 million one-year deal, so he will be back in Dodger Blue. Dodgers also picked up the option on Alex Vesia. It was $3.55 million. So Alex Vesia, and our prayers are going out to him and his family. Alex Vesia has been re-signed for 2026, but Muncy will be back. And now, what does that do about Murakami? And we asked your guys' opinion about it, we heard from you, and we got one from Ted. It says Murakami, not a good fit. His ceiling is Teoscar Hernandez. Meanwhile, Teoscar Hernandez is taking shots here. He's a bad fielder who strikes out a lot, but can hit around 30 home runs. Remember, he had a 50 home run season in Japan. We don't need a bad defensive third baseman, and there's nowhere else for him to play. True. True. Yeah, DH is pretty much taken, and I think Max Muncy, if he's going to be the third baseman or a platoon, and he can play second, and he can play first, and he can DH. So Max Muncy is that sort of Swiss Army knife now. We continue with your comments and your conversations about Murakami. Max has a club option for 26 at 10 million. Yeah, the Dodgers picked it up, so we're happy about that. There's his WAR 3.6. He's the best value in the majors for a third baseman. Agreed, especially with that $10 million contract. Max is coming back next year. That's a no-brainer. People spout about his defensive weakness, but in the last few seasons, his defense has been very good. Yeah, it has been. Murakami has a huge bat, but like you said in the show, he strikes out a lot. He'll strike out even more in the majors. His defense at third would be much worse than Max Muncy. Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I think the Dodgers will be in the mix, of course. I think the Mariners, I think the Giants will also make a strong bid for Murakami. But now that the Dodgers have re-signed or they have picked up the auction on Muncy, I don't think Murakami fits anymore. Now, granted, it's a one-year deal, and Max is going to be 36. So he has shown an interest that he wants to retire a Dodger. So maybe this is the last season for Max Muncy, and you may miss out on Murakami. But the chance you take on Murakami is how will the transition be from Japan to the majors, and will he be able to be that kind of impact elite hitter who can, he hit 56 home runs in his Triple Crown season. Last year, he only hit 22 home runs, but he only played 56 games because of an oblique injury, did Murakami. So a lot of bat, questionable about the defense. I don't think he's terrible, but certainly not an elite fielder. Interesting situation, knowing the Dodgers, I could see them signing Murakami, keeping Max in there as insurance. And what we do know is Max is back to try to run back the three-peat, and so is Alex Vesia, which is good news for him and his family. So we wish them all the best. And we wish you all the best. J-Rod Show on X and on Instagram is where you can find us. It's been a great week, and you have been part of it, letting us know what you think with subscribing. Remember, click the like button. Pound that like button. It helps the algorithm. It helps us continue to do what we do. 2 thumbs up button, share, subscribe, like, do everything you can to keep us going here on Dodgers Latest. Going to take the weekend off, relax a little bit. Monday, back at it. We'll get into more free agency, more hot stove league. Remember, the GM meetings are coming up. That's coming up next week, so it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, comes out of that. And, of course, the winter meetings are in December. That's going to be in Orlando, and that's really when the wheeling and dealing is going to come to fruition. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Have a great weekend. Remember, it's always time for world champion Dodger baseball.